Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
I tell you what, who said PhDs were boring? Our next guest is a doctor who has a PhD in sociology and specialises in fandom and celebrity culture. Her name is Dr. Georgia Carroll. She's one of the only researchers in Australia with this specialty. And she's even done a case study on Taylor Swift. Who to get on to discuss the Taylor mania other than this fabulous woman, Georgia? Hello.
Hi, thanks so much for chatting to me.
Well, it's great to have you on. It's extraordinary with Taylor Swift. I look at her rise to superstardom. In 2018, she was sort of like, it's just Taylor Swift. But now,
yes,
how does that happen?
I think really, in a lot of ways, and as bad as this kind of is to say, but the pandemic worked in her favour. Mm-hmm. She went from releasing Lover in 2019 and then in the space of the next couple of years released 2 other studio albums with another coming in April and 4 re-releases of her back catalogue. So in a span of kind of 4 or 5 years, she's released 7 albums and has kind of put herself at the forefront of everyone's mind constantly with this constant stream of really, really good music, and the fans have just eaten it up.
I was reading somewhere that 2% of the population have seen or will see Taylor Swift perform. That is absolutely extraordinary, isn't it? And she's a solo performer. She's this strong, single woman. What has your study shown about what this kind of fandom incites in people?
Yeah, so a lot of it is her relatability and the fact that she's been performing for 17 years now. So a lot of fans who are now in their 30s have felt like they've grown up with her and they've connected to her music from when they were a teenager through to now when they're, professional women with their own families. And then you've got, the little kids who are discovering her for the first time and the people who are tuning in because of all of the hype and realising that she's just an amazing performer. Like, I went to her show on Friday night, 3.5 hours, just her on stage dancing her heart out. Like, that's a feat of endurance as well.
Is there a downside to this fandom, to this kind of obsession that people seem to have for Taylor?
Look, there is always a group of people on the extremes who take things too far and maybe invade people's privacy and might, attack people on social media. But when you think about the fact that she's so popular everywhere around the world, that number is so minuscule. And for most people, it's just like a sense of joy, a sense of community, and a real chance to bond with family and friends and just have fun, which is, the environment we've seen at these concerts.
And there's some curmudgeons that aren't into Taylor, but that's just like mean-spiritedness, really, isn't it?
I don't wonder how many there really are. Social media probably amplifies all that.
Yeah, I think, a lot of it comes from people who haven't seen her evolve past this idea they have in their head of her as a teenager who sings about breakups. And they kind of haven't tuned in to see her career evolve. And it's easy to kind of punch down on the female singer experiencing these crazy levels of success. But I think most people are fans these days.
What's the most surprising thing you learnt on your sociological deep dive?
I critique Taylor a little bit in that her marketing is very savvy and she kind of lures her fans with this idea of being noticed by her to get them to spend a lot of money. So, she released 8 versions of her album Folklore and 4 versions of her album Midnight, and really encourages her fans to buy it all and to show they're a good fan through purchasing. When you're a billionaire, that can kind of be seen as a bit dodgy, but her fans love her and they want to connect with her and be noticed by her. So they're willing to buy into that. And they really want to connect.
If you doing a PhD in Taylor Swift, if you met Taylor Swift, would you mention that to her? Because that would sound a little bit stalkerish.
Look, it would sound a little bit stalkerish. I'm sure I'm on some kind of blacklist at the moment for the fact that I do critique her a bit. But I'm also a huge Swiftie. I've been a Swiftie for over 15 years now. I've seen the show once. I'm going again on Friday. At my heart, I'm a researcher, but I'm also a fan.
Right. So we'll look for you in the crowd with a clipboard over the top of your glasses. Okay.
A bedazzled lab coat.
Okay. Well, Dr. Georgia, that's fascinating. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
If you want to get in contact with Dr. Georgia, by the way, head to georgiacarroll.com.